In the Bahamas, a sort of live episode of Very Cavallari.
All right, so our thanks to Claire C. Downs for putting together an assortment, a cornucopia of Jay Cutler stuff that we can go to here, because he was trapped basically in the Bahamas for about 30 days, even though they live in Nashville. So at the beginning, it seems simple enough. We've got new haircuts. Everyone's getting along fine. Then here before, that's not responsible social distancing, but it's people having fun. They're still stuck in the Bahamas. At some point here, you're going to see that Jay Cutler has a Tom Hanks Castaway, his own Pink Wilson situation here. This is just day 12, right, of about 30, 31 days. And then here at the end, it escalates quickly, darkly, violently. Here it is, no TP needed. That is Jay Cutler telling you he's gone into those pristine blue waters and pooped right there. And there you go, ladies. There you go.
Or it might be Jay Cutler telling us that he uses toilet paper when he goes number one. I mean, look, it would not be the weirdest thing that a celebrity is doing during this quarantine, as is evidenced by this entire thread. They're acting like they're stuck in the Bahamas. But what Claire Downs does on that Twitter thread is point out that, like, okay, at this point, there wasn't a travel ban. They could have come home. Or like Jay posted that it's just him and whatever the name of his little Wilson was, Magma or whatever. But he says it's just the two of them. It's not. You clearly have all these other people with you. Celebrities are doing this thing where they're like, oh my God, day 12, I'm stuck. And it's like, you all have wonderful, you're in the Bahamas, there's sun, you're with the person that you love, your husband, and you have a person who's cutting your hair. That is an underrated thing that you need in quarantine. It's not bad for them. And then the update is they're back home.
Speaking of the person who's cutting their hair, when I first opened this thread, I thought it was Greg Olson. Am I the only person who thought Greg Olson was somehow quarantined? With the whole thing in a vastly different light as I scrolled through it. I was largely okay with this until the no TP reveal in the ocean, right? Like, I don't understand the physics of how that would work exactly. I've seen Jay Cutler's butt. Most of America has. Who could forget?
There it is. Wow, that right there. The staff is ready. At any point you mention the butt of Jay Butler, it just comes up.
Jay Butler.
There it is, Jay Butler. Actually, that should be his name, Jay Butler.
Shout out to the people who work at the resort that they're quote unquote stranded at, because they're like, day 12, running out of sparkling, moving on to still, very difficult here. People are waiting on them. People live in the Bahamas. I know it's a crazy concept to rich people, but there are people who live there. It's not a vacation for them. They're at work.
I don't understand why they didn't leave. Like,
nobody does.
Were they not allowed to leave? That's very unclear from this entire thread.
It sounds like they thought that it was safer to be in the Bahamas than it was to go home. There's no evidence that that's true. Entirely not true for the people who work there, who are like, we would love to be not at work, but we still have people staying on our resort.
Jay Cutler stuck in a warm place. Nobody knows how it's going to end. It's getting weird. Sounds a lot like the end of his NFL career in Miami.
Yeah, it does.
Ooh, spicy nugget.